Chef Buck here, and today we're going to roast up some okra. This is a big bag of okra, and it is getting long in the tooth. Although this okra has lasted a super duper long time, we've had this for 10 days. It's mostly been refrigerated. Okra doesn't last long once you buy it, but Camera Girl cut this out of the field. You were in your relative's garden. So she got this fresh off the okra thingamabob growing out of the ground. And we've had it refrigerated, but when you buy it in the store, you usually want to use it up pretty quick. You can see it's starting to get dark around the edges. This has already been washed and dried, and we're going to cut the little stems off of here. I like whole okra pod recipes because it's just a cool looking ingredient. Another dish I like to use okra in is an Indian style dish, and I will cut that okra up and mix it up with some curry flavors. But usually when I cook up okra, I usually cook it in a skillet with a lot of onion and tomato and vinegar, because tomato and vinegar helps to cut the gooiness of the okra, because the okra has a very sticky reputation. Why do I think that sounds dirty? It probably says something about me.
What if you said slimy?
Okra has a very slimy reputation. But you can eat okra raw. Let me find a dinky doo one, because dinky doo ones, the smaller the okra is, the better it is. Because okra is one of those things, if they get overly large, they get woody. So this is about as big as you want right here. Ideally, you know, okra that's just a couple of inches long is about as long as you want. And if you can get them smaller than that, if you see a bunch of dinky doo okras in the store, you know, jump on those, because that's good. But a lot of times you don't see them this small because it's not as profitable to harvest them when they're super small. But it sure doesn't taste bad raw. I like raw okra. And it's not gooey, you know, until you start to cook it, and then it can get gooey. In fact, okra is used as a thickener in a lot of recipes. But I'm going to go ahead and just cut the stems off. You know, not all the way down, but almost all the way down. But I'm going to leave a little bit of end on there so it doesn't leak out too much. Although we're going to be baking these at a high temperature, so it's not really going to be that gooey. Now, I never really cook okra like this, but Camera Girl's mom roasts it like this, and I thought it was really good. So I thought I'd forego my usual okra standby dishes and just roast it in the oven, easy peasy. So there we have it. Our okra, that's about as pretty as it's going to get. Now this is going to be a super simple preparation. I'm just going to spray my okra with a little bit of oil. You know, I've done this where I've added the oil and then lubricated it, but I always use too much oil. It doesn't take much oil at all, so if I spray it, then I don't overuse it. And that's all the oil I'm going to put on there. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And then a little bit of roasted garlic. You know, just some garlic powder. And that's all I'm going to put on there. But I like a little bit of flavor on this roasted okra. Now your mother, she just used Mrs. Dash, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that doesn't have salt, does it?
No.
And I just got a flat baking sheet here, but I got some tinfoil on here because I'm lazy. And I'll put a little bit of oil on there. Then we'll spread out our okra, what doesn't go on the floor. Now my pan's going to be really crowded, but that's okay. It's better to have too much okra than not enough. So now we're going to bake our okra in an oven, and I got it at 500 degrees Fahrenheit. So very hot. And I'm going to let it bake away for about 20 minutes, but halfway in between during the cooking time, I'm going to give them a little roll over because they're going to kind of brown on one side. But that high cooking temperature is going to help them to cook. Beep, 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 beep. Alrighty, so it has been 10 minutes. So I'm going to give them a little roll. Shuffle them up so they don't get burnt on one particular side. So I'll slide them back in here and we'll let them go for another 10 minutes. And while that was baking away, I remembered another way that you can have okra, and that's okra pickles. And that's one of the nicest things about being at my mother-in-law's, is that she always have these okra pickles on hand.
And then
And
when
it's-
she sees you documenting, then getting him out with your finger, you're gonna be in the doghouse.
I know. I'm going to be in the doghouse when she sees there's only 2 of them left in there.
We better go to the grocery store.
Yep. But that's just a regular whole okra that's pickled. Beep, 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 beep. It is hot, hot, hot. They still don't seem done to my liking, although they're definitely getting a little bit more brown. I guess because I have the pan so crowded. I'm going to throw them back in for another couple of minutes. Now, if you're doing this at home, you want to be super duper careful. I mean, I make this look easy, but I have an extraordinarily large layer of muscle all over my entire body.
Or in your head.
Especially this area. 3 more minutes and we'll see. Beep, 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 beep. So we gave it a few more minutes. But that's what it looks like when you roast it. Let me give one of these a cut. Boop. So you see, that's what we're dealing with. It's not very gooey at all. It doesn't have a lot of gooey soupiness coming out of there. You know, because when you roast it, it really dries it up. So if you want to eat some okra, but you're afraid of the gooey okra, then this is a good way to avoid that. You know, they roast up nicely. They don't get crunchy though. We don't have any breading on here. You know, they're not crispy enough to be crispy. That's all there is to it. You know, it's just a quick way to cook up some okra and you don't have to fool with it. You don't have to get all complicated. Thanks for watching. I'll have a link down below. You can go over to our website, myfoodchannel.com. Check out all the recipes over there. Thanks for watching and subscribing. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.